Here is your first question. Option A, okay. A and C, okay. Anyone else? Okay. So here they have given means two types of B and D. Okay. Okay. So anyways, we have candidate for all the options that means. So let's go one by one. So two systems that we are discussing over here and two organisms. So they are the part of the, so one we have to consider the system of the earthworm and another is the system of the cockroach. So two circulatory systems has one is a open and another is closed. So open circulatory system means the heart pumps the blood and the other parts oxygenated deoxygenation blood that happens to be followed by they are directly transferred to the organs whenever required. So there are no capillaries or no other connective thing which can give the blood to directly to the organs. So that is what we call the open circulatory system. On the other hand, the next will be the closed circulatory system where the arteries, veins will be involved to carry the blood from the body parts to the lungs and heart and also from the oxygenated blood from the heart to other parts. So classic case is that earthworm has the closed circulatory system, though it looks like a primitive, and on the other hand, cockroach has the open circulatory system. So two things that you can match firstly. Secondly, nephridia is a organ present in the earthworm who is present at the exterior parts. So especially more than nephrons is the association we have the with the excretory system, right? So excretion is one of the function for the nephridia. However, for the earthworm, nephridias are present for its osmoregulation also. And Malpighian tubules is the excretory organ for the cockroaches. So 1, 4, 6 and 2, 3, 5. So 1, 4, 6 and 2, 3, 5 is the option number B. So option B is the correct one. Next. A, A. Yes, option A is the correct one because this question is basically framed by the understanding the rate of transpiration. So transpiration is happens to the stomata, that is the water evaporation process, that is what we call transpiration. So in the dry condition plants, they have the very high rate of the transpiration than the plants with the under humid conditions. So that means if the rate of transpiration is very high, then the whatever the colored water that they are getting, the water will be evaporated and dye will be remain in the leaf part. So that means plant A will turn redder than plant B. Next, option D. D. Okay. So we have two candidates, B and D. So this question is based on the chapter of evolution, one of the favorite chapters for IISER Aptitude. So if you haven't done this chapter before, please go through this chapter definitely because this chapter is quite an essential part. And in the previous examination papers, as we will go through, I will definitely point out which part it is. But this is one of the questions based on the evolution. So this question is framed with the understanding of adaptive radiation. So whenever the finches means these are the birds, sparrow-like birds. So this is a classic case that we can see in case of the Galapagos Island. Yes, sure. D. Okay. So this is the adaptive radiation that can have. So earlier the island have both medium and large size seeds, but the medium size seeds where the plants with medium size seeds are wiped out. So that means there is no source for the birds to have because because of medium size big. but survival instinct is there, which helps for getting with the adaptation that they will start eating the large size seeds, and that means for eating those very clearly, eventually the evolution process will be taking place, which helps to make their beaks more longer in the long run. So it's a evolution, because extinction is the true adverse condition that can happen for the birds, but adaptation is a natural means to get the means for the survival. So in this way, the way they will start adapting for the large size beak to have it more easily, eventually their beaks will become larger. So option D is the correct one. Next. Option D. Okay. So this is question based on organisms and population. One of the another favorite topic for the IISER aptitude based on previous papers analysis. So because it's a important part for ecological understanding. So we have seen the two kinds of a pattern. One is the exponential growth and another is the limited growth, logical growth pattern. So in the exponential growth, there is a unlimited availability of the resources for the population to grow, and on the other hand, the logical growth pattern, there is a limited resources to have. So this question is basically framing about the accessibility for the limited resources for the food and housing capacity for 200 people. So this means the resources are limited. So this is a pattern that we have to firstly look for the logical growth. So for the logical growth, the growth rate dn by dt is given by is equal to Rn into k minus n divided by k. So here K will be the carrying capacity, N is the population present at the time T, and R is the intrinsic growth rate. So if we calculate this particular thing, so 200 will be the carrying capacity, 100 is the N, value of the N, the population increasing by at the time T, and zero point 0.1 R is the intrinsic value. So if we put this in the this particular formula, we will get option D, that is 5 per year. Next. A, option A. Yes, option A is the correct one. Both inner and outer membranes actually have the different sets of enzyme for the mitochondria. They are not identical. So that is the incorrect statement. Option C. Option B. Okay. So option C. Okay. So when we say proliferating, firstly we should understand that proliferating means it is able to divide. Wherein G0 phase is the one where the mitosis has already happened. One is the interphase where G1 is G2 will be happening. Then there will be the M phase, that is the mitosis phase. And then if cell won't enter into the again to the G1 phase by escaping G1 phase, it is just there but not dividing. That is the characteristic of the G0 phase, which is happened for the case for the there are some cells of the few organs which are not dividing at all. For example, adult heart is the one of the cells of the adult heart is a classic case for where the division has stopped. However, the cells are alive and metabolically active, which is the main characteristic of the G0 stage, which is described in question B, option B. That is, cells in this stage will be metabolically active, means they are alive and all other activities are taking place, but they are not dividing. That is the indication of G0. When we say proliferative means they are able to divide, which is not the characteristic of the G0. Option D. Option D. Okay. Yes, option D is the correct one. Erythroblastosis fetalis is very hemolytic condition which we have seen because of the Rh incompatibility. So blood group is there, but another characteristic that we have the Rh factor. So this is especially happens when the Rh negative mother has delivered Rh positive baby. So that is because of the heterozygosity for the Rh factor. But the main thing that the mother's blood and fetus blood never mix together. They are separated by the placenta. However, when the time of the delivery, it is possible that some blood will come in contact, some blood cell may come in contact with the mother's blood. And if the mother is Rh negative and the blood group of the child is Rh positive, at that time, because of this exposure, there is a chance that the mother will be because at that time Rh positive factor will work as an antigen for them. So mother's blood will start preparing antibodies against Rh positive baby. So for the next baby, if the second pregnancy will be there, then at that time mother's blood can affect the baby's health also because of the and that can lead to the many hemolytic problems even for the jaundice. So if this one is detected, so by administering Rh negative antibodies to Rh negative mother, so if there is a exposure of the Rh positive, they will negate with each other and the Rh positive effect of the Rh positive antigen will be diminished because of that. So that won't affect the second pregnancy that can result the child with that particular blood group. So option D is the correct one. Next. Okay. Option B. So oxidative photophosphorylation means we are talking about the electron transport chain during the respiratory process. So things are happening in mitochondria. So terminal electron acceptor that we are talking about. So FAD and NAD plus is the one of the electron donors which can causes the proton gradient also to run and electron donors. So those are A and B cannot be the part of the even FADH2 more precisely. Then cytochrome C is not the part. It is just transferring from complex 3 to complex 4 and the terminal electron acceptor or the donor part will be done by cytochrome A3. In case of the oxidative photophosphorylation, both terminal hydrogen acceptor and terminal electron acceptor will be the oxygen because that is the one of the key processes that can happen with there for the production of the H2O also. So that is required for both the way. So their oxygen will work as a terminal electron acceptor, also the terminal hydrogen acceptor also. Next. Option D. Yes, yes. Option D is the correct one. Immature lymphocytes primarily found in the two organs. Firstly, the bone marrow and another is the thymus. So here we have the one of the characteristics will be the thymus. Where the T lymphocytes will be get eventually the lymphocytes will get matured in the thymus region will be turned as the T lymphocytes. Their patches, spleen and liver all are secondary lymphoid organs. Next. Okay. Yes, option C is the correct one. Km, that is Michaelis Menten constant. is the concentration of the substrate when the velocity is Vmax, means half of the maximum velocity. Next. Amoxicillin is an antibiotic. Yes. Option D is the correct one because we are talking about viruses. So one most important key thing to remember is the antibiotics are not at all effective against viruses. They are just working against the fungal, bacterial, all kind other kind. Antifungal will be for antibiotic for fungal agents and antibiotics for the bacterial diseases. So for the viruses, by providing adequate rest and balanced diet will be giving boost to the immune system. The immune system will take care of the viral infections or antiviral treatment can be given for the some viral against some viral diseases. Yes, Aditya. Two chances are there means firstly doctor will give you there are two classes, one is the drug and another is the antibiotic. So firstly you need to understand whether they have prescribed you drug or antibiotic. Though it's a viral fever, if doctor have the possibility, if viral fever persists for the sometimes and if the infection is still persisting, at that time doctor will, there is a chance that because of there can be chances of the bacterial infection also and viral infection also. So at that time, for the bacterial infection, doctor will give antibiotic. Doctor means random doctor never will prescribe you. They prescribe some drugs to get down your fever or increase your immunity. Means some immune boosters can be given, but for viral fever, doctor will never prescribe you antibiotic. Next, option B. Option D at the time of birth. Okay. So oogenesis means formation of the egg, means lame language we can say. So the product is, so what this process will particularly begin at the time of fertilization itself, means at the time of embryonic development, that is at the fetal cycle. It will stop, the meiosis process will be stopped, but it get stopped at the midpoint in between the first part itself. And at that time the egg number or the number of the eggs is already decided for the female child which will, or the female fetus to be born. At the time of after the birth or at the time of the birth, no changes or the no egg reservoir will be increased after that. It is already decided at the embryonic stage itself. So for this, oogenesis begins during the embryonic development itself. Next. Option A. So option A is the correct one. Compound epithelium is a multilayered cell which are mainly protective, work as a protective layer against the chemical and mechanical stress. Especially means one of the classic example is the skin where it can be present. Also it is present in the linings of some of our tracts, means internal tracts that we have. Compound epithelium have the least capacity of the secretion and absorption. So the this particular thing will come from the chapter from 11th standard, structural organizations. So there they have discussed various different types of a cell, epithelial cell, muscular cell, nerve cell. So they have different types. Please go through this chapter once definitely, because this is another not, I'm not saying higher weightage, but the medium weightage kind of a chapter. Next. D. Yes, option D is the correct one. Yes, because we are talking about incomplete dominance. So red and white flower will be crossed. So when there will be the heterozygous condition, then they will be giving rise to the pink color flower. So the it will be the 1:2:1 will be either even the recessive character will homozygous recessive will produce the white, and homozygous dominant will producing red, and the heterozygous will be the pink. So the genotype and phenotype will be have the same kind of a ratio. Next. Option A. Hmm. Yeah, means they are giving that RE1 will be ligating with, means for example RE3 or RE2, like that. Or all can ligate with each other. That is the option 1. Means option A. So that means option A. Yes, so that is correct, because the complementary nature that we have, we can see the cuts that can be caused because of this. So here it is cutting. So this part that have the, if we can see all the cuts that are shown over here, that part will be AGCT and TCGA. So that can be have complementary with each other. So any fragment can get have the complementary. So all the three can be digested with the different enzymes, but they can ligate with each other. So option A is the correct one.